Do you have a weird little guy mode? And where are you safe to activate weird little guy mode?
I like weird bitches, like bitches that look different.
Oh, you like girls?
Yeah,
Only girls?
only girls.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the darkest shade of the Made by Mitchell foundation. Look at how beautiful that is. And it's not jet black. Let's do a good blend of this and see what it's giving. OMG, Mitchell. T. Look at my skin. This is shade 20. I want to go ahead and try shade 19 as well. Shade 20 is definitely the shade that I think that I would probably go for. I want to see if 19 would work on me as well. Let's go ahead and blend 19 out. And that's what you call an undertone, baddie. Yeah. This is how close your last two shades should be. Literally. Skin is giving skin. It is so possible to make shades for dark skinned women without using just black pigment. CI 77499. True tint, such tea.
Let's fucking go. Let's go. I guess.
This is happening right now at the Ohio State University campus. Muslim students are trying to peacefully pray while the violent state police are trying to literally arrest peaceful Palestinian worshipers and peaceful Palestinian protesters who are trying to defend these people praying. Right now at the Ohio State University, these police have been violently and brutally attacking peaceful Palestinian worshipers who have come here to protest against Israel's genocide. This is how the university treats students who stand against genocide. Dozens of police officers in riot gear ready to tase, spray, or maim any peaceful protesters. This is happening right now at the Ohio State University while protesters are trying to peacefully pray.
I'm a Palestinian PhD student at Columbia University, and I was part of the encampment. And when I tell you it was the most beautiful community I've ever been a part of, it was the most racially, ethnically, religiously diverse space in the entire university. We had Shabbat dinners, we had Passover, we had Buddhist prayer circles, we had Muslim prayers throughout the day. It was the community that we've always wanted. We've had to learn to share with one another, mutual aid, conflict resolution. We had a people's library tent, we had a peer support tent, we had a first aid tent. We brought in communities and members from all over the world to speak about liberation. We laughed, we cried, we chanted, we sung. And yet last night, in the most violent, vile way possible, the NYPD and the university came into the encampment, packed up everything that was there, put it into a dump truck, and compressed it all for garbage. And as a Palestinian, I can't help but feel like that is emblematic of how the Palestinian identity is treated. It is repackaged and thrown out. When they unfurled the banner that said Hinds Hall, that is what this is all about. It is about a 6-year-old who had to die surrounded by the corpses of her dead family who had been shot to death by the IOF. That is what these students are upset about. Day after day, month after month, they watched these children be torn to shreds, body part by body part, limb by limb, with their tuition dollars, with their taxpayer dollars. This is why they're angry. And then to have these institutions profiting off of war, and they're simply asking for their tuition dollars to not profit off of war, not be used to fund war. And these institutions are the very institutions that profit off of war in two ways. Not only do they invest in the war industry, but they also build these departments that preach liberal democracy and human rights, and they write books and they profit in other ways. And yet that's the inherent hypocrisy of Western education. It's preaching human rights and yet funding the destruction of humanity.
I have incredible legal news for transgender people in the United States. The Fourth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals just ruled that gender identity is a protected characteristic, and that discrimination against transgender people is unconstitutional medical discrimination. In doing so, they overturned a state insurance ban in the state of North Carolina and a Medicaid ban in West Virginia. The arguments that were used in the majority opinion are going to be likely used nationwide to try to reverse gender-affirming care bans across the United States. And while the Fourth Circuit only applies to West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, this is going to be cited as precedent everywhere. The majority was decided en banc, which means that the entire court ruled on it. This was not just a lucky panel of judges. And the ruling seemed laser targeted at the eventual Supreme Court case, making it much harder for the Supreme Court to rule against transgender people. For instance, they tore apart one common argument that stated that, well, we're not discriminating against transgender people. We're actually discriminating against the diagnosis of gender dysphoria and particular medical treatments for that. The majority was having none of that logic. They stated that that would be as if you banned gay marriage and justified it by saying, well, the gay marriage ban applies equally to straight and gay people, even though gay people are the only ones to get gay married. They also shot down Dobbs-related logic against transgender care, as well as other court cases that have been cited, like Dolding. This was an incredible ruling. There's no two ways about it. And trans people should feel much more secure today than they did yesterday.
There's no place like I want to be a witch.
And they all fell to their knees and begged that drifter, begged him please, as he raised his fist before he spoke. I am the righteous hand of God, and I am the devil that you forgot.
It's always been about love and hate. Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. We hate the bitches you fuck, cause they confuse themselves with real women. Then notice I said we, it's not just me. I'm what the culture feeling. How many more fairy tales?
I'm not a feminist. I can actually cook.
I'm a feminist. Watch me cook.
Hello, I'm the asexual Asian in every teen rom-com movie ever. I'm very nerdy, very foreign-looking, and also very effeminate. I'm pretty good at math, so the pretty white girl's gonna ask me for help, but she's gonna laugh in my face when I try to be romantic because obviously I don't compare to the protagonist who's taller, whiter, fitter, and more charismatic. My Asian features and nerdy personality means I do not deserve love and I will never get the girl, but everyone will laugh when they see me try to.
Good afternoon. I'm the model minority Asian. I'm an overachiever, and my career is either lawyer, engineer, or doctor. I'm very smart, well-behaved, desexualized, and very traditional. I'm not really a romantic rival, and the idea of me being seen as a love interest to the white female protagonist is seen as a joke. My societal power comes at the cost of my sexual power, because despite my obvious success, I will never get the girl. Hey, yo, what's good with it, G? I'm the breakdancing Asian with the black sand in the 2000s dance film that's got a lot of heart in it, you feel me? I'm Filipino, obviously, so I mess with cars, hip-hop, and girls, man. But I ain't ending up with the main girl, no, sir. Shawty finna end up with the less talented white dude or the more talented, sexy black guy. But if the pretty young thing's Asian, you know she's gonna be with the white dude, you feel me? What's good? I'm the quirky Asian best friend in a rom-com, and I actually do end up with the girl. It does take the whole movie, and it's kind of out of nowhere, but it's seen as a unique idea because an Asian guy getting the white girl in the end, that's crazy and revolutionary. By the way, the actor playing me never gets cast as a romantic lead again, so catch him as a tech guy in a one-off episode of your dad's favorite sitcom about 4 middle-aged white men.
Let's talk about this video that's gone super viral.
The last thing that Israel is seeking in its region since its creation is to go to war. We are seeking peace. We are peace seekers.
So in this clip, you see the Israeli president, Isaac Herzog, who's actually just a war criminal in a suit, referring to Israel as, "We are just peacemakers." Now, if you take this at face value, it just seems like more propaganda from the Zionist regime, just trying to spread lies to justify their genocide in Gaza. But when you compare this to verses in the Quran, specifically from chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, you are astounded by the miracles that you find. In chapter 2, verse 11, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when they are told, "Do not spread corruption in the earth," they respond, "We are only peacemakers." Other than the terrifying similarity between the Israelis' response and what is written in the Quran, it is also so clear to see that this is a common pattern of people who cause corruption or people who cause mischief on earth. Constantly try to sell us their corruption and their mischief and their violence as peace and justice. Not only does this show us the level of corruption that the Zionist regime is spreading in Palestine and all across the world, it is also giving us a deeper appreciation of the Quran's miracles and infinite wisdom. And the Quran was revealed over 1400 years ago, and yet it is still teaching us what these wrongdoers will say, how they will react when they are told, "Do not spread mischief on earth." Furthermore, if this does anything for you, it should at least give you an appreciation of the faith and resilience that the people of Gaza have, the connection they have with their faith, and how they use that to grant them strength through these difficulties. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deal justly with those who cause corruption and mischief in the earth, and may He grant the people of Gaza strength and accept their martyrs, Ya Rabbil Alameen.
So I was fortunate enough to go see my mom's over the weekend, and after dinner, it was just the three of us. We started talking about Palestine. And as we're going back and forth, I'm realizing that my parents don't have a lot of the same information that I have or that I've received. And as I'm telling them these stories and these updates of what's going on, they're like, "Well, where are you getting this information? This doesn't sound right. I've never heard of this before." And I was like, to be honest, I'm getting a lot of my information from TikTok and these different pages and accounts that are sharing information. And they're like, "Okay, well, you can't trust everything on TikTok." True, but unlike the newspaper that they're reading that has a bias or that has an editor that has to approve things, we're watching first-person videos and testimonies of people on the ground there. One of the most shocking things that they had no idea what was going on, completely oblivious to, is the fact that Palestinian families are being forced to pay upwards of $10,000 per person to Israel in order to evacuate. And when I told that to my parents, they were shocked. They're like, "It doesn't seem right that people would have to pay that much money in order to leave when they have nothing." It's almost like you're getting it. And I love my parents, but the fact is that they are just not receiving the same information that we are. And I know by this point, a lot of you have seen hundreds, if not thousands of videos of people starting off their videos saying, "Stop and watch this whole thing so we can help a family in Gaza. Like, comment, and share. 5 words for the..." And after a while, it feels like we're just not doing anything. By this point, a lot of us are questioning whether our efforts are actually working or if we're making any sort of impact, but Operation Olive Branch is doing phenomenal work. They have made a spreadsheet of GoFundMes that is not just extremely organized, but very transparent to where the money is going. In the first column, you'll see the family's names, where that money is directly going and how much they're trying to raise, the percentage of the goal that they've already raised. And by the way, the amount of GoFundMes that are at like 0 to 1% is so disheartening. Their bios and their stories, along with their social medias, if they have them directly to the right of that, so you can see exactly who that money is going towards. I didn't realize this until I saw another creator's video on it, but the Rafah border, which is where many Palestinians are evacuating, is closing in 2 weeks. I know on the individual level, it seems so fucking daunting to look at this spreadsheet of hundreds or thousands of families in their GoFundMes with 0% actually raised, and questioning, well, is my $5 going to be good enough? Is my $100 going to be good enough? Is my $1,000 donated even going to make a difference? And again, I know so many people are numb to seeing videos asking about donations and just kind of scroll out of habit, but I am I'm fucking begging you. Follow Operation Olive Branch and please donate whatever you can. The link to that spreadsheet is the first link in my link tree, and at the very least, you could just share that. Throw it up your Instagram story, send it to a rich relative. Just share it.
Honest question, genuine question. Why don't leftists care about masking? Why aren't supposed radical, socially conscious people, why aren't they masking? Like, we're in a full-on pandemic raging, disabling hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions. We care about liberation, but not for the disabled. I genuinely do not understand the dissonance. We claim to care about communal safety, but like not about community when it comes to a virus that's spreading and acts like HIV in a lot of ways. COVID, it's a damaging virus. It's truly a damaging virus. And the denial and the passivity of leftist people in masking, I can't grasp it, man. Like, our government has lied to us about everything, but they haven't withheld things about COVID. Like, COVID's the thing that we can trust them on. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. I just don't get it.